for John Dick Winters.
I have a weight problem. Because of that weight problem, I have a sleeping disorder where in the middle of the night I stop breathing and then I wake up choking and gasping for air. Some people call it sleep apnea. I prefer to call it dream diabetes. Now, I've had dream diabetes for as long as I can possibly remember. I never really thought to do much about it, but something happened to me recently and decided to change my life. I was sleeping with a woman, not sexting. That had not happened yet. We were just asleep. And then she woke me up at 4 in the morning and told me to leave because she couldn't sleep. It wasn't so much you're snoring so loud I can't sleep. It was more along the lines of, you sound like you're gonna die and I don't know you that well. No, seriously, if the guy that I met off of OkCupid last week dies in my apartment, I have to move. I cannot afford that. Please leave. It's 4 in the morning. And I did, with no arguments whatsoever. Now, like I said, I've had sleep apnea, dream diabetes, for as long as I can remember. I've probably come close to death, I don't know, dozens, possibly hundreds of times in my sleep. Never did anything about it. But apparently, if I get cock blocked even one time by sleep apnea, I'm in the gym the next day doing squat thrusts and... So I don't know how to exercise. Point is, I went and just... Let's make some changes. I found a how-to suicide book online. Let's not worry about why I was looking for it. It's not important to the joke. Actually, I was on Amazon. I wasn't looking for it. Amazon recommended it for me. That'll ruin your day. You're looking up books on gardening, and Amazon's like, you shouldn't be reading books on how to create life. You should read this. The funny thing about the How to Suicide book is, like any other book on Amazon, there's customer reviews. I don't know how that works, but there was one customer review that stood out among the rest. It was in all capital letters. It said, this book's fascinating. You won't be able to put it down. I bet you'll be able to put it down. If it works, I'd imagine you just drop it, right? I'm curious about this book, but I'm not curious enough to buy the How to Suicide book. So I was wondering if they had it at the public library. Just think of the late fees in that book. Just some frustrated librarian. He's like, no, excuse me, sir, we actually have a strict policy. No one's allowed checking this book out anymore. So, excuse me? No, you may not read it in the bathroom. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Not putting up with that shit again. I'm a big fan of stop sign art. You guys know what I'm talking about? When people stencil a word or a phrase into a stop sign. Like people will put in the name of love into a stop sign. Or my personal favorite, people will put hammer time onto a stop sign. Hey, if you pull up to a stop sign and it says stop hammer time, and you don't at least crack a grin, hey, guess what? You're dead inside, because that's funny. You don't even know how to live. Just eat it out the beach, watch me out on TV the rest of your horrible, pointless life, because you don't know what a good joke is. But some people think that the stop sign is the appropriate place for their political messages. Like some people will put eating animals on it, like stop eating animals, that ruins your McDonald's binge when you're high. That's rude. I feel like that's not solving anything. Or my personal favorite, these hyper-vigilant anti-war activists that stencil war on the stop sign, stop war. Could you be lazier, perhaps, about something that's important? Isn't the laziest form of protesting stop sign? Like a real protester will go down to a place and hold a sign all day. You put a word on a stop sign, and then you fucking left. Like, what do you think? Like, the only problem in the Middle East is that your stop signs aren't there enough? Like, if you just get to the Gaza Strip with a can of Krylon, you'd shut that whole situation down, you lazy cunt. Just shut up. But the one I see all the time in Pittsburgh, and listen, I don't know if this happens down south, and I really hope it doesn't, but the one I see all the time is people stencil the word rape onto stop signs, so it then reads, stop rape. You know, just in case you didn't know to not do that. Just in case you didn't know where you stood on violating another person. Just in case you were on, you know. Do you understand what you have to do to stencil that word onto a stop sign? You have to make a stencil they don't sell rape stencils, as far as I know. They don't have those at Michael's or at Packatans or at Hobby Lobby or they might have them at Hobby Lobby, but the point is, if you want to stencil that word onto a stop sign, you have to spend an evening with a knife and a piece of cardboard just angrily carving rape into it. Or at least you better be doing it angrily. If you're carving rape into something with a smile on your face, you got a whole other bunch of problems I'm not even going to get into right now. Who's it for? I don't understand who's it for. Who is the stop rape stop sign for? Is it for the dude who's willing to do the worst thing imaginable to a woman, but under no circumstances will break a traffic law? Is that who we're worried about? Those dudes? I don't know. Can we just stick with Stop Hammer Time, please? Stop Hammer Time is a much more effective anti-rape slogan anyway. Do you guys remember how the song goes? It goes, dan, 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 dan. You can't touch this. You're goddamn right, Hammer. You can't touch this. Now, without permission, it's all about consent, and no means no, and let's not be afraid to be too legit to quit. Have a nice night, guys. My name's John.